I am the Master Rater, and today I will be rating Batman villains. As a reminder, I am right, you are wrong. My rankings are final. This is fact, not opinion. Let's get going into the categories. At the bottom tier, we have For the Streets. This is the bottom of the barrel. The criminals not worth arresting. The criminals that Batman looks at and is like, it'll be fine for another day or two. Not really worried about that guy. Above that, we have petty crime. These guys just do a little. They're a little bit of a nuisance, but who cares at the end of the day? In the middle tier, we have criminal activity. These guys are okay at what they do. You know, they do some criminal stuff here and there. They're on the radar, but they're in the middle. They're right there in the middle, you know? Then we have Blackgate's finest. These guys are really good villains. They terrorize Gotham. They strike fear in the hearts of the Gothamites. You might not sleep as well after seeing one of these guys in person. And finally, we have Arkham's Most Wanted, the upper echelon of villains, the people that give Batman a run for his money day in, day out. So without further ado, let's go into the tier list. First up, we have Bane, and Bane is going into Arkham's Most Wanted. Bane broke Batman's back. There's not another villain that's been able to do that much physical damage to Batman. On top of that, Bane is able to compete with Batman on a mental level. Bane can outsmart Batman here and there. Put that all together with a bunch of roids, which is what Venom is, times 11. Bane is an unstoppable force. Bane, I think, could punch a brick wall into dust with one punch. He's a terrifying man, and every iteration I've seen of Bane has been terrifying on multiple levels. Up next, we have Clayface, a villain I think is very underrated. I am going to put him in Blackgate's finest. Now, firstly, I'm going to pick the first Clayface. If you're wondering, there are like 4 or 5 different Clayfaces, which you think Gotham would have that figured out. You know, after there was a second one that was made, maybe they would shut down all options of how Clayface was made. But no. We have to have 4 or 5 different Clayfaces. I'm thinking of the original. Now, Clayface has been getting a lot of love in the DCU lately. I was hoping he was going to show up in Batman 2. Look, Clayface is devastating if they did it right. Yes, he is a giant monster who can change his fists and legs into different weapons whenever he wants to. But what's not discussed enough is this man's ability to go incognito. Not only can he look like you, not only can he sound like you, but there was a point at time where Clayface got the upgrade where he could shift his DNA to be like the person he was copying, which is an elite ability. Puts Clayface right up there. They just have not let Clayface hit that next tier. He's this close. One great storyline of him taking over Gotham, and he would be up there in Arkham's Most Wanted. So I have Clayface right there. Next, we have Hush. Listen, Hush as a concept, fantastic. His original appearance, fantastic. His original story, what a great story. Hush is awesome. He even shows up in the Batman Eternal storyline as the possible perpetrator behind the events of that story. However, he just doesn't do it for me. I'm putting him at petty crime. Outside of that storyline, what have we seen and heard of with Hush? Yes, he changes his face to look like Bruce's. That's it? Oh no. Again, we just talked about Clayface, who can do that with anybody he wants to. Yes, Thomas Wayne is an excellent plastic surgeon, but that's it? That's all you got? I need more from Hush. Next up, we have the Clown Prince of Crime, the Joker. And listen, there's only one spot for the Joker to go, and that is Arkham's Most Wanted. Listen, am I tired of seeing this guy around? Yes. Is the Joker overused? 1,000%. That does not take it away from the fact that he is still Batman's greatest villain of all time. He is the top of the top. He is Arkham's Most Wanted. I honestly think if the Joker was real, he would have gotten the death penalty by now. I think they would have found a way to get him the death penalty, but they haven't done it. It is amazing how this dude has been able to stick around. I would like to see him go up against other heroes at this point. He is that level. I am just tired of Batman only fighting the Joker. That's where I'm at with that. Up next, we have Killer Croc. This is a tough one for me. I think I'm going to put Killer Croc into criminal activity. Listen, is Waylon a bad guy? Not really. He's kind of angsty because he is a mutant crocodile, and I Don't blame him for getting like that. I don't. Now, I like the more reptilian look over the more human look. If you look at the Arkham games, he's terrifying for different reasons. But outside of, being a mutant crocodile, what else has Killer Croc done to Gotham? Like, he's not a terrible, awful human. Like, sometimes he's looking out for the people that don't get looked out for, because he's one of those guys. I still put him over Hush. I need a little bit more in the villain aspect for Killer Croc. It's like I said, he's like not always a bad guy, sometimes rides that anti-hero line, especially when he's with the Suicide Squad. So I'm going to put him at criminal activity. Then we have Mr. Freeze. And Mr. Freeze, if this was old school Mr. Freeze, it would probably be for the streets. But we're talking about modern day Mr. Freeze, and he's in Blackgate's finest. Listen, this man's backstory is one of the best backstories because we got that from an animated series. The lengths Mr. Freeze will go to just heal his wife is incredible. That is a man that is in love. Has he made mistakes? Yes, plenty. However, you can't blame the guy. It's gotten to the point where I want to see Mr. Freeze in Batman 2. I want him to be the main guy. I don't want the Arnold Schwarzenegger, I say cheesy ice puns all day long, Mr. Freeze. I want that Mr. Freeze. I want Batman the animated series in live action. That's what I want to see. Then we have the Penguin, and I'm putting the Penguin at criminal activity. Listen, before the Penguin show, Penguin probably would have been right there with Hush. He would have been just like a guy that's there. But Penguin makes the mafia side of Gotham go. He is the criminal underground. He is the guy on top. You want to know a messed up story? Read the Penguin New 52 one-shot that they made. It's just one comic on the Penguin. That dude is a messed up individual. The lengths he will go to make sure that he gets what he wants is incredible. Also, low-key underrated in hand-to-hand combat, and managed to turn an umbrella into a very terrifying weapon. You gotta give him some props here. He is absolutely diabolical and a weasel in the Penguin series. I put him at criminal act. Then we have Poison Ivy. And listen, she's a lot like Clayface in the sense of her potential is through the roof. But I have to put her at criminal activity. Here's the deal. She kind of rides the good guy, bad guy line quite a bit still. I know she only cares about plant life, really, and Harley Quinn. She has the potential to just turn Gotham into a living jungle whenever she wants, and she doesn't do it. We also watched her turn Superman against Batman via mind control with a kiss, with pheromones infused with kryptonite. She was able to do that. There's also another storyline where I believe she mind controls most of the world, so she could do that if she wanted to, but she keeps it very limited. So I'm waiting for that Poison Ivy takeover. Then we have Ra's al Ghul, or Raj al Ghul, whatever you want to say it. I have him in Blackgate's finest. Al Ghul is sick nasty. The dude has an entire army of ninjas at his disposal. He trained Batman. This man trained Bat. Could he take over the world? Sure. He's got the Lazarus Pit. He can just keep bringing himself back to life. The glimpse. His ties to Batman lore, with him being the grandfather of Damian, being the key factor to why Jason Todd was brought back to life. This dude is not only a force of nature on the battlefield, but his tactical mind is right up there with the best of them. I would love to see Al Ghul get more time against the Bat. That dynamic is fantastic, but I feel like we get more of a dynamic between him and the Robins than we do Batman. Maybe that's just me. Also, Liam Neeson played this guy. That's just to add to it. Up next, we have the Riddler, and listen, the Riddler is going right up there into Arkham's Most Wanted. This dude is a super genius. He keeps Batman on his toes mentally. Bane, physically and a little bit mentally. Joker, mainly mentally, just because he's insane, but it's unpredictable mental game. The Riddler, everything is calculated, everything is cold. You want to watch a good Riddler? Watch The Batman. That Riddler knew exactly what he was doing from moment to moment, and you're having to watch Batman take his time and pull the string, pull the threads to try to get to the end game that the Riddler wanted. At the end of the day, the Riddler only wants to be smarter than Batman. It hasn't happened yet. However, that's his goal, and it's nice to see that side of Batman, because that side of Batman, when it comes to the movies and the shows, doesn't get talked about enough, the detective side. Riddler provides that outlet for Batman. I think about the Arkham series, how good Riddler is in that sense. You have to go find all the Riddler trophies, but he keeps Batman on his toes in that sense. and those games do a fantastic job of showing the detective side of Batman. Next, we have Scarecrow, and Scarecrow for me is going right into the criminal activity category. Listen, for me, Scarecrow just doesn't do enough. Does he have potential? Yes, a lot of these Batman's rogues have so much potential that I feel like just doesn't get tapped into enough because the Joker or Bane takes the spotlight from all of these guys. Scarecrow has a lot of potential. You've seen it with the fear toxin. This dude is creepier than all get out. I think of Arkham Knight with the syringe claws and how terrifying he is there. Scarecrow is awesome, and I would love to see him get more of a spotlight. But for now, he's sitting at Criminal Act because behind all the fear toxin, he just kind of is there. And to wrap up the list for today, we have Two-Face. And I think this is going to be a very controversial push, but I'm putting Two-Face into petty crime. Listen, is his backstory fantastic? Yes, it is. Harvey Two-Face in The Dark Knight. What a sad fall for Harvey. That was a one time where I was like, oh, Two-Face is badass. This dude, this poor guy, lost half of his face, melted, went a little bit psycho because the chemicals brain, also lost the love of his life all in one day. Don't blame him from going a little crazy. And it also was a great showing for the Joker, but besides the point, listen, when I think of Harvey Two-Face now, I just think of a crime boss going up against the Penguin. I think of him on that level. He's just on the street. Yes, he has a great storyline. I feel like every Batman villain probably at least gets one, but I wish that they would lean into the relationship of Bruce and Harvey more. And I don't feel like they do that enough. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. But that dynamic, especially in The Dark Knight, was fantastic and interesting to explore because they were equal and they were trying to do the right thing in different ways. Probably why they didn't get fully along all the time, because they were very similar people. Harvey just wanted to do it the right way, and Harvey paid. So I've got Two-Face at petty crime. That wraps up my list. Like, subscribe, or don't. I don't care. Let me know what you think. Where are you putting people at? The link's down below for you to do this if you would like to. Till next time, Godspeed.